You're listening to the Wired for Impact podcast.
I imagine that you mentioned intimacy a little bit earlier, and we are on the conversation of polarity. These things tend to spill over into the bedroom, into the intimacy space. You talked about seasons, the cycles of life, and the seasons of life. How do you keep it fresh? How do you keep the intimacy polarized so the attraction and the chemistry is still there?
It starts out of the bedroom. I have to be super honest with what I want. I haven't been in the past. So I've gone along with things and then resented him or regretted it. Not anything that is hurting me or in any way, shape or form. I've 100% resented. But I've got clear on what I want, and I've become courageous to ask and say, and my no, my sacred no is just as powerful as my sacred yes. So we've discussed and said, do you fancy this? Do you fancy it? And we're trying to keep new things, and not only new things, but we're deepening the connection on a spiritual level. So it's out to the bedroom. We meditate together. We go walks together. We have deep philosophical conversations together. He gets to hold me at my vulnerablest. That for me is intimacy, right? And there are moments when I just don't feel like it. And I'm able to say, babe, I'm not feeling it right now. My body is not feeling it right now. Can we just cuddle? Can we just... And I appreciate your needs as well. And I'm okay for you to take care of your needs, right? If that feels good for you. But I, right in this moment, need to honor what's going on for my body. You know, and sometimes that's a hard pill for him to swallow. And sometimes he really respects me for that. And either or is okay. I don't judge him for either or. There's that freedom, right? So it's a whole different level of intimacy. It's not just, and we still have the play and the fun and the crazy, right? Yeah. And it's even more fun now because there's no kids in the house. So.
Right. Keeps it interesting. You know, one of the things that I always find so interesting is that we tend to give the very thing that we want, and how when you're in polarization, it's often the opposite of what we want. So for example, you often hear, and I'm talking specifically about intimacy, you often hear from women, you know, oh, that feels really good. Keep doing that. That's what will get me over the edge. That's what will have me orgasm. And this is the word consistency. But I think oftentimes what men experience is what we experience on our end is the variety is appealing, is attractive, because our whole world is linear and logical and everything makes sense and rational. It's the irrational, the storm. Like, how the fuck are you crazy right now? It's beautiful outside. But you know, it's like, that doesn't make any sense. And yes, at times it's frustrating, but in other times we love it because it's so illogical. You're not contained by the boundary of logic. You know, you have the freedom to just fucking feel whatever you want. And it's like, how do you do that? You have to have a reason for that. No, we don't. I just get to feel this way. And yet at the same time, that is attractive. And so anyway, so men get to sort of orgasmville through the variety and through the differences. And so I think sometimes when men are pleasing their women and she's starting to, you know, get more excited and she's like, keep doing that, men are kind of like, no. And anyway, what I'm trying to get at is like, it's the consistency that we bring to the table, obviously not just in the bedroom, but like also with our jobs, with our provision, etc., the consistency to show up. But for the woman, it's the variety. And I share this because I think that this is something that couples can bring into their relationships, for women to recognize that you are so many different shades to us because you show up. It's like, it's, you know, I think women sometimes get insecure because they think, oh, they're going to get tired with me and he's going to want to spread his seed somewhere else or whatever. And what I want to encourage women with my message is, you are those many shades. You are those many different people to us. And truthfully, like Tony Robbins, going back to some of the Tony Robbins stuff, he and his wife have names for each other, and then different names for different sort of personalities that they show up in. And, one of his wives is, the businesswoman, and she's, take charge. She gets shit done. Other times she's a little girl and she needs, a hug and whatever. And then other times it's the sexy seductress. I love that idea of identifying these different needs, especially for men. And so for women to know that they can show up in all these different ways. And it's almost like you're with many different women. It's meeting the need of the variety is what I'm ultimately getting at. That was a little soapbox thing, but I'm curious, do you have any other advice or tips for people who are looking to reinvent the intimacy and bring more polarization? You explained some before. Do you have any other ones that?
Yeah, absolutely. Variety, you're 100% talking about the variety, spontaneity, plan it and also don't. So it's, which makes no logical sense, right?
Yes.
But yes, plan it and also don't, right? Mm-hmm. And then we have names for all the different personas that I can be. Absolutely. Because then it not only does the name help the man, but it also helps the woman to get in that persona, and it gives her permission to be in that persona, right? And to actually role play that persona in clothes, in hair, in makeup, in all of that. And then the other piece I would say is, particularly for me as I've matured, is that start much sooner with the foreplay. So like the gentle touches in the day, the gentle kisses in the day, this whole build up, this momentum, this teasing, this excitement will create such magnetism, right? Just that paying attention, intentionality to what she needs before she asks for it. Oh, that's another one, a key one. Oh my God. If you can lead in romance, that's the game changer. What does that mean? It means don't ask her where you want to eat or what she wants to eat, or has she taken care of childcare? Take care of it all. Take care of it all. Decide what she's wearing. Know that it's something that she'll be comfortable in, right? Just like, let her know this is what time, but do it in a way that you know that, like, I know I don't like to eat dinner at 8:30 at night, right? If he's going to book a table at 8:30 at night, it's just not going to work. I'm going to be hungry as hell at that point. Right? I like to have drinks at 5:00, have dinner at 6. Know your woman. Just know your woman.
That's a key part, because I know a lot of men get frustrated at that advice to lead, because then they lead and then she's rolling her eyes or she gets hangry or something happens. And it's like, well, this isn't working. You have to, there's a key component where you have to really know what actually works for her. And so it's going to take some time, but go ahead. This is helpful. What does that do for you when he takes that leadership?
Oh my God. Are you kidding me? I can relax like there is. Even thinking about it makes my body go, hey, baby, just take me. Just take me. Because you have just allowed me to not have to make decisions. You've allowed me to rest. You've allowed me to be the woman I am. Like, even when we're driving to wherever we're going, and if he puts a song on that he know I absolutely love, right? And he'll put it on dead like cool while he's driving. Like he's not really thought about, like, dead cool, right? And then he'll keep looking forward, and I'll look at him and smile, and I'll see that half smirk that comes up. And it's just those little details.
Yeah, he's no dummy.
To feed the world, right?
Yeah.
Or he'll take me to something a new experience that I've never experienced before. And be really thoughtful with making sure he knows where the parking is and all, just the detail, and nice and slow, right? The slower you can do it, the faster you'll get there. Right? The slower you can do it. And head first. Don't start touching your nether regions first. Head first.
Mm-hmm.
Work down, not up.
Yes. Good. That's good advice. You said a second ago that when he's making decisions, it allows you to rest. I want to get into the nuance of that for half a second. I know we're getting sort of close on time, but for a lot of men, rest is like downtime. It's like, I want to forget about everything. So I'm wanting you to explain why rest for you actually is invigorating and leads to intimacy. Why is that from a woman's perspective?
Because when a woman is not resting, she's tense. Her muscles are tight. She's holding what feels like the world, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's in a masculine, and it's not natural for us to stay in our masculine for that long.
Mm-hmm.
So resting means she can release the masculine. It means that she can drop into her feminine. It means her face will soften. It means her physical body tissue, her muscles will soften. So this is when you notice the difference between a woman who has a resting bitch face, I like to call it, stern face, right? Where there's tension like that, real tension in her face, in her jawline, it's chiseled. As opposed to a woman who's relaxed, which is her face drops. It literally drops, and the muscle softens. And that's what's attractive, right? That's what causes the polarization that I'm assuming. I'm checking.
100%. Oh, yeah. 100%.
Right?
Yep.
But that's what I mean by relax. She gets to breathe. Oh, okay. I'm taken care of here. He knows what he's doing. I can trust him. And if I can trust him, I feel safe. And if I feel safe, I can let my guard down. I can be that wild woman because it's safe. It's safe for me to relax. It's safe for my body to relax.
Safety is such an important word for the feminine psyche. And I used to think that it meant physical safety, but there's so much more that I think men are missing. Because a lot of men, I think their rational, logical mind is, oh, I will, walk on the street side while we're walking, or I'll have my back to the wall so I can see, if there's any threats coming. They're thinking physical space and safety, which is important. That's necessary. However, there's a whole other world of emotional safety that I don't know that many men have really stepped into fully yet. So you're really talking about the things, the thoughtfulness, the taking care of the plans so that you don't have to think about those things, is providing mental, emotional relaxation and therefore safety on your part. Very, very key element. Thank you for sharing that.
And the other one last thing, chivalry. Opening the damn door for her. Like, just open the car door for her and wait for her to get in. Because the slower a woman moves, the more she's in her feminine. Don't rush her. Enjoy her movements. Notice her movements. When you notice her movements, she will feel your masculinity. It will be the biggest turn on for her. The biggest. Like, open the door for her. Allow her to get in. Gently close the door. Slow it right down, right?
I love that. Thank you for listening to this episode of Wired for Impact. If you're interested in creating and expanding your impact, be sure to visit us online at impactnow.com.